Millions of Americans got an extra hour of sleep this past Saturday night, but lost sunlight in the afternoon with the ending of daylight savings time. While the extra hour of sleep may feel nice, some are wondering why we are still continuing the century-old tradition of changing the clock twice a year. Last week, the university announced 4 new members of the Board of Trustees, which is in charge of adopting a clear statement on the school's mission, vision, strategic goals, and establishes policies and plans consistent with that statement. Among the 4 new members is Travis Williams, the president of the Pittsburgh Pirates. As mentioned, Friday we will see a bit of rain throughout the afternoon, but as this weekend rolls in there will be nothing but sunshine and brisk, cool days. Temperatures throughout the upcoming week will stay in the low 50s, and rain is expected to peak through on Tuesday and Wednesday. Many of us will have our last class before break coming up tomorrow, but it looks like we won't have a very sunny welcome to the time off. While temperatures will stay around the high 40s during each day, reaching a high of 53 degrees, that temperature is coming with rain for most of the day. An 88-year-old restaurant in Youngstown was demolished Sunday afternoon after multiple fire engines responded to a fire at the restaurant earlier in the day. Youngstown Fire Department, EMS, and Ohio Edison responded to the scene around 11 a.m. to reports of a fire at the Torch Club Bar and Grill on Salt Springs Road, which is connected to Isabella's Market. Later in the day, it was demolished for safety. No one was injured, and the bar was closed at the time. It is unclear how the fire started, and an investigation is ongoing. President Donald Trump's administration continues out nationwide immigration and custom enforcement raids. In Northeast Ohio, as of Monday, a total of 56 ICE detainees are being held in the Geauga County Safety Center, including 20 who arrived Sunday night. Nonprofit Thrive Mahoning Valley helps immigrants locally find access to services for housing, healthcare, education, and more. Workers say they are seeing panic across residents and agencies they work with.
They're not hearing a lot of chatter from the folks that they serve. In fact, there's a couple families they can't contact. So they suspect that they've either already tried to self-deport, that they've gone back to their home country, or they've moved, or they're in hiding, just out of fear.
Vickers said the organization is currently focused on educating the community on their rights should they be approached by ICE and making sure residents have important documentation on them at all times. With the closure of Sharon Regional Medical Center, a Mercer County school district is now without some critical mental health services. Sharon Regional provided 2 4- to 6-week programs for youth facing mental health struggles, Kite Strings, and Pathfinders. While in the program, participants received individual, family, and group counseling, as well as academic instruction and assignments provided by their school district. Schools like Sharpsville provided transportation to and from the program, and Sharon Regional provided lunches.
So we have to look outside, which will add travel and distance and transportation. So it'll only increase the problem of mental health that we face with our student population.
Sharpsville also does not have the school's social worker or psychologist, heavily relying on these programs for mental health services. A new initiative aimed at developing a public treatment foster care program for children in need across 2 local counties is in the works. Mahoning, Trumbull, and Ashtabula County Children's Services announced on Wednesday the establishment of the Northeast Ohio Treatment Foster Care Collaborative, focusing on specialized care for children who have experienced trauma from neglect and abuse. Trumbull County currently has about 50 foster families, and none of them are certified in this care.
But here we're joining effort. We're joining our efforts. We're joining our resources. We see the problem. We're coming together, as a tri-county group and working together to hopefully do something that will help alleviate the issue.
A virtual information session for those interested in the program will be held on March 4th. To sign up, you can call the Trumbull County Children's Services office. This Friday marked the 1-year anniversary of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette going on strike. Members of the Newspaper Guild of Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh Union Progress, an online news outlet for the strike workers, held an event on the 300 North block of the North Shore on Friday, October 6th, which is right in front of the Post-Gazette building that the office continues to produce a newspaper with journalists and others who are crossing the union picket line. We spoke with several strike members to talk about the state of contract negotiations and their experiences over the last year.
I mean, this was a newspaper that everybody loved to work for at one time. You know, back in my day when I was a kid, this is how you delivered the paper and you learned the value of a dollar. They don't want to agree to anything. Everything they want us to agree on, they don't want to agree to themselves.
Helen Fallon is a professor emeritus at Point Park University and a part-time copy editor for the Post-Gazette. She spoke on her experience over the last year and shares what students should take away.
Well, this is my second strike in my life. When I was a young person, not much older than you, I was on strike in Monessen for a strike, 14 months. So we're getting closer. I don't want to make that mark. I never wanted my journalistic career bookended by strikes. But we think this is a righteous battle, and I'm only a part-time employee, as you know, as I work full-time at Point Park for so many years, and I always worked here. It's just the right thing to do. You can't have a company treat its employees like this. So just for my former students and current students, I've been reporting and editing and writing, much like all of you, and it's made me, again, realize why I have such a passion for journalism and have a passion for unions. It has to happen.
Some members of the United Steelworkers were also in attendance. Andrea Weaver, a member of this union, shared her support on Friday and shared her frustration over the situation.
It's terrible. They need to, the boss really needs to get their act together, and they need to give the workers a fair contract.
Reporting on the North Shore for Newsnight, this has been Erin Yudt. A federal judge last Wednesday declared a federal policy which prevents the deportation of immigrants brought to the U.S. as children illegal. U.S. District Judge Andrew Hanen agreed with Texas and 8 other states suing the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, also known as DACA, program. Tuition for the 2024-2025 academic year will be going up 3.9% for undergraduate students. According to the tuition and cost page on the Point Park website, each semester will now cost $18,825 for non-conservatory of performing arts majors. A 13-year-old boy is charged with criminal homicide after police said he shot and killed another 13-year-old in Clairton. The shooting happened in the 400 block of Wilson Avenue at around 9:20 p.m. Monday.